For us to look at that experience, we're going to find 5 things from there, 5 principles that Jesus made them to go through. And they are: number 1, the principle of separation. Number 2, the principle of eternal direction. Number 3, the principle of deliberate confrontation. Number 4, the principle of supernatural manifestation. And 5, the principle of devotional concentration. Please hold on to those 5 principles and we're going to just look at them. They are going to be the fundamental keys for you as a Christian to live out a faithful life in a world that we are in right now, in the last days, in a space where the forces of those ideologies are converging and shaping the landscape. If you understand those 5 principles, you will realize that Jesus deliberately allowed them to go through so that we can also gain those experience, because we are the generation that is living out in the last days. Okay. Number 2 is direction, eternal direction. Jesus made them to get into the ship, and then he told them to go to the other side. One of our fathers in the faith here in Nigeria, that is Brother Bile Akani, once gave a teaching on the book of Jonah, and he was teaching on the ships of Tarshish. And in a symbolic way, he said that we all need a ship to transact with in life. You need one ship or the other to transact with in life. He said we are all involved in one ship or the other. And that illustration, he said, some people are in school and scholarship. Business people are in entrepreneurship. Those who are our leaders are in leadership. Those in government, and then in church, we have fellowships, we have worship, he said, it's still a ship. Whatever you're talking about is a ship. And then are you a student? You're in scholarship. It is a ship. And if things are difficult for you, you are in hardship, well, it's also a ship. But what I want to say there is, no matter the ship you are in in partnership? Are you in courtship? Are you in whatever ship? Whatever the ship you are in, make sure it's going to the other side. Jesus told them in that ship, get into the ship, go to the other side. He was not making a suggestion. He was very clear about the direction. And when he said, go to the other side, I want you to know that in life too, everything we are doing is implying, is revealing, is affecting our direction. Because there is the other side. It doesn't just end here on earth. Remember that Paul shouted and said, if it's only in this world that we have hope, we are of all men most miserable. Because there is another side. This world is just a dress rehearsal for the other side. Do not be deceived that it is appointed unto man to die once, and after that, judgment. There is the other side. Eternity is way, 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 way unimaginably larger than what we are experiencing within this space. How long are you going to live on earth? How long are you going to live? 100? 200? That's not really possible. But eternity, this 100 or 200 years will just be a fraction of a nanosecond in eternity. So there will be another side. For those that say that nothing like that exists, and that is why the issue of direction addresses those who are embracing naturalism. And I met somebody who says, well, I'm a naturalist and I don't believe there is life after death. And I say, so what happens when people die? He quoted Richard Dawkins. He quoted Richard Dawkins that said, we simply cease to exist. Well, do you believe it? I asked him, do you believe it? And he said, well, I want to. Well, I thank God he was actually so truthful. Many people want to believe it, but something inside of you tells you it's not true. Because you were created for eternity. Your soul yearns for something that is beyond this world. There is an aspiration and there is a fear of the unknown for those who have not settled how they are going to live after this world. That fear is real because there is a vacuum that has not been prepared, that has not been filled with the content that will be relevant in the next world. So what are you doing concerning the next world? For you as a Christian, no matter what the naturalists are saying, no matter the emphasis in the world, be on that direction. Let your life be pointing to that direction. And let me add and say, what would you do if you were in a plane, 40,000 feet in the air, and the pilot says Ladies and gentlemen, I have good news for you and I have bad news for you. The good news, well, let me start with the bad news. He said we entered a severe electrical storm and it has affected some electrical equipment. The GPS is no longer working. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know where we are. Then he says, but I have the good news for you. The good news is that our engines are doing fine and we're making good progress. What will you do if you're in that plane? You mean you're making good progress, but you don't know where you are? So you're making progress to where? I want you to note that is exactly the description of the life of an average human being in our postmodern world. There is a drive, an unseen drive. You feel it, but you can't feel out the source. You are under pressure for fast things, pressure, how fast your food, how fast your degree, how fast your marriage, how fast your first million, how fast your first house, how fast. So many people are just racing against time. It's highly competitive. You are looking by your shoulders, you are looking by the side to see who is ahead of you, and then you're taking dressing from that person, how fast the next model of car, how fast the next fashion, how fast. The question is, where are you going? The speed of a person is no longer relevant when direction has been compromised. And do you know it's a very strange thing that a car can leave the road. The car can leave the intended road and miss its way and be on the wrong road, yet the engines are doing well. Yet the tire is going smoothly, yet the engine is working fine. And what does that mean? It means that it is very dangerous for you as a Christian to look at somebody who doesn't know God, somebody who doesn't fear God, and tell yourself that person is doing well. What do you mean? What do you mean? That in itself is a dangerous illusion. Do not envy a life that has no covenant with God, because the end is definitely terrible. So let's take it again and encourage ourselves by maintaining the direction. You must ask yourself at every moment, am I maintaining that eternal direction? Do I have focus on eternity? Am I thinking about eternity? Does the thought of eternity consume my life? If that is not what you are engrossed in, you may be distracted. So when we face the direction that Jesus has given, it helps us deal with the naturalist. It helps us remind ourselves that there is the other side, there is the spirit world, and we are heading there. And by the grace of God, even those among the naturalists that have argued that that doesn't exist, well, let them check the studies that have been done by the University of Southampton in the UK, where they ran some tests and, they investigated those who have had near-death experiences. And they documented all of them. And all of them had nearly the same result, the same report, the same experience of seeing themselves getting out of their bodies and being conscious even after being proclaimed clinically dead on the table. So there is a life after death. And if anybody is telling you there isn't, please run away. That is great deception. Many people do not want to accept that there is a life after death, because accepting that there is a life after death also comes with the moral implications of how we are supposed to live now. So in order to be free of any kind of restriction, people threw the truth aside. But it's an inevitable truth. It's coming. You can't run away from your shadow. So direction as a Christian, maintain that eternal direction, maintain that focus. And any church, any fellowship, any group, any pastor that you are sitting under, whose emphasis is not how to prepare you to eventually reunite with God ultimately, I want you to know that you are actually wasting your time. You are living in a very dangerous space, because Jesus was not making a suggestion. He told them, get into the ship, go to the other side. Where is your ship heading to?